Well, what have I gotten myself into? I was offered a free tractor, and so I got it, and it's a little rougher than I thought it was. I just saw one picture of it. I've already undone the straps and everything. You can see it is packed full of stuff. So we're gonna start off. It's been sitting at least 15 years. Of course, it does not run right now. And we're gonna have to try to see if it'll run. When I went to get it, the rear wheels would not. It was sunk way down. We kind of dug it out and then tried pulling it out, and it was muddy and wet, and it was raining, and ended up double lining the winch to a tree and strapping the four-wheeler to a tree, and finally got it to pull out of its hole, and the rear wheels were sliding. So we put the tractor in four-wheel drive because the front wheels were turning, and because the rear was just sliding. It's out of gear and everything. And with the four-wheel drive engaged, it broke loose the rear end, and so now it rolls at least. So probably has had water in the transmission and rear end. If you look, there's a tear right there, so probably leaked water down in there. It does shift through the gears, but I'm guessing we could have some damage down there. So even if it runs, or even when we make it run, it's no guarantee the transmission is going to be good. Also, everything on the 3-point is completely froze up. I have a feeling this thing sat with probably like pine straw or something on it, you know, just of how it rusted out, you know, it looks like wet material sat on it for a long time and rusted it out. This is the raise and lower for the 3-point. I went to try to move it, and the handle just broke right off. So that's froze up. This, I guess, is a lock for the rear end. It's froze up. The brakes move. The brake bar for the other side, the threaded rod, is broke off, and this one is about gone as well. Everything else, all the other levers shift. This is the PTO. It's got first speed and second speed for PTO. It moves. What else? I have not tried throttle. I don't want to break it off, but it is not moving. You can see it is completely rusted up down there. So we've definitely got a project. It may be too far gone. Of course, the seat was just completely gone. This is front axle engagement right there. This is I think a high-low. Yeah, a high-low. I don't think it's froze up. Clutch moves. It's got, well, it shows 367 hours. No idea if that works. And we're just gonna set this off. Oh, look at that rocker cover. Man, I couldn't see that. Well, I'm gonna say this thing is locked up. Tetanus shot for this thing. All right, so I'm gonna get the shop vac. We're gonna vacuum out everything we can, and then we're just gonna go breaker bar on this engine. My guess is it is probably locked up solid, especially after seeing this. I did not see this before. Yeah, I don't really have any hopes that this thing's gonna run. I tried pulling the dipstick out. It did not want to come out. I mean, it is like, I don't know if it's rusted in or if it's got a rubber gasket, rubber seal. It is not coming out. My guess is it's probably full of water. Yeah, that is not a good sign. So let's vacuum it out. I started clearing some of this out while I was there, and a huge rat ran out of it, and so I just kind of stopped doing it. But I'll set up time lapse. I'll vacuum this out. We'll see if there's any hope in saving it. If not, you know, probably got some good parts on it, maybe. Had the time lapse going for a while. Here's where we got. Inside the engine looks pretty good, but well, inside the intake, now it doesn't look like anything got in there. I can't tell if any water has been in it. The water pump is completely froze up. You can see the fan is gone. This must have been pack rats. I mean, it was just solid all the way to the bottom. This shop vac was empty to start with. And so I think what we're gonna do is probably go ahead and just pull the radiator off, and then we can get a straight line to the crankshaft pulley. We'll either do that or we'll pull maybe some of these side covers off. Maybe, I don't know which one's easier to get off, and maybe get in from the side to the crankshaft pulley. But 3 valves are free. I wanted to take the valve cover off to check the valves since this was exposed. I want to make sure the shaft wasn't froze up and we don't bend a push rod trying to turn this thing over. Like I said, that valve right there is stuck. The other 3 are free. We'll work on this one a little bit. It feels like it's bottomed out against the piston now. So I think what we'll do is probably just go ahead and see if we can bar the engine over. And we could either, you know, let it go further down so we get this valve further down to maybe get it to where it'll pop back up. Just kind of work with it. Or slightly turn it over to see if it'll push the valve back up, and then we can roll the engine back over, push it down, you know, just kind of try to work it free. But we really, before I put too much effort into that, I want to see if the motor itself is stuck, because it could, the bottom end of it could be full of water. It could have gotten water in the intake. We don't know. Or it could just be stuck from sitting and condensation. Like I said, before we go any further, we need to see if it's free. If it's not, then this tractor's, there's nothing we can really do with it, because it is, there's so much other issues with it as well. I don't, if the engine's gone, I don't think any of the rest of it's worth messing with. But let's not jump ahead. Let's just work on what we got right now, and we'll see if it'll turn. Got a 30, not a very good one, but it fits. Alright, what do y'all think? You think it's going to turn or not? I'm kind of betting on locked up. Didn't turn that way. I can rock it just a hair. Oh! I wonder if I should pull. I'm afraid the glow plugs are going to break off if I try to pull them out. I think my best bet is just to spray a bunch of stuff in the intake. I think I'm going to have to heat the glow plugs to get them out. And we'll let it, hopefully a bunch of this will get down in the cylinders. Quite a bit of that. I can't believe it's actually turning now. It's turning free now. Look at that. Oh. Look at that. I did not expect that. And this valve that was stuck is now free. I'm just going to keep turning it. I'll spray some more stuff down in it. This is just penetrating oil. Now, whether it has compression or not is another story. We also need to get down and get that dipstick out and check the oil, see if it's got water in it. It doesn't feel like it's got much compression. But maybe if it spins over a good bit, it'll free up. The rings may be stuck, or the valves may not be sealing. It feels like it's starting to get a little bit of compression. And I can hear it in the intake, kind of popping back. So it's probably spray all the valves. Probably not getting past the valve seals though. But I don't know if that's it. Just I don't know. But even if we get this free, at least we know probably the hydraulic pump's turning. I guess this is the generator or alternator. That looks like that's not going to turn. The water pump is seized. So even if we can get it running, man, I don't know. It's whether the injection pump, the injector lines could be leaking. It looks like it's got diesel in it. It doesn't look like it's got water in it. The cap's in good shape. So that's a positive that it may actually have good diesel in it. I'm wondering if the starter will spin it over. Get some jumper cables and see what it'll do. Valves are doing well. A couple of them are kind of sticking and then they pop loose. That back one is. Yeah, it kind of pops loose. Like I said, I don't know if this is getting past the valve seals. I'm gonna grab some jumper cables, I think, and we're gonna hook up to this battery right here. The battery's not in very good shape, pretty weak, but we're gonna see if the starter will spin it over. Might as well. There we go. We are pumping oil out somewhere. An oil pressure gauge or something? Or is it hydraulic oil? It is going everywhere. Try that again, let's see. Yeah, it's hydraulic oil. I'm gonna just get a bucket, catch it. The metal lines are into. I guess on a positive note, the hydraulic pump works, but all the metal lines are rusted. Pumping water out somewhere. Where's that water coming from? Bell housing, maybe? Huh. Can't tell. Maybe coming from the crankcase. I think before we go any further, we're going to drain the oil out of it. Well, let's just... It's trying to fire. Where's that water coming from? Oh, man. Man, this thing, it may run, but oh, is it going to be a mess. And it may not hold up. Let me show you. And I think this is going to be our quitting spot for today. I need to go in and get cleaned up. Hole rusted in the oil filter. All that water was coming up, so it's pumping, but it's pumping oil, but it's water. What a mess. So I think our best bet is probably to We're going to need to drain the water out of it, and we're going to need to put a new oil filter on it. I'll have to see what cross-reference oil filter it is. Hopefully it's something easy we can find. We'll just dump some oil in it and a filter. It was trying to fire off of that penetrating oil. You could see it, one of the intake valves wasn't sealing. It was puffing out of the intake and puffing out of the exhaust. So we got one that's probably sealing, one that's not. I think it would fire up though, maybe on starting fluid. Not starting fluid, like WD-40 or something. I don't know if the diesel part of it's going to work, but we can probably get it running. It's just if the rest of it, the problem is parts are kind of hard to come by for these things, so I don't know. But hey, it's trying. So I'm going to throw the valve cover back on it, throw the hood back on it, and then we'll kind of pick up maybe tomorrow on it. Might as well drain the oil, I guess, or let it be draining. Real quick. Yeah, it was pushing that water up through the dipstick. Watch. Oh. Look at that nastiness. Not as much water as I thought it'd be. Where's the water? It definitely got chunky. Plugged up. No? Yeah. Goopy, sludgy stuff. I think what I'm going to do is just let that sit there. Help me remember the drain plug's right there. Get our exhaust pipe on there. I don't know how this went on there. He must have rotated the exhaust around at some point. Originally it must have, you see there's different bolt holes. One if it originally went straight up and had this on it, and he wanted it, maybe it was too much in his space, so he turned it down and put it out, going out the front. But having it down like this probably saves this thing from being more locked up than it was. Yeah, we're breaking our probably breaking the bottom of the filter. Well, it's a red filter on this side. Over in here. I'm going to see if I've got just some kind of filter that'll go on here. Can't believe I got it off. This one. I don't know if I can get a number off of this one. It's a BT-353. Alright. So, I need to go to the parts store. I'm not going to go today. And what we're going going to do is we're going to just put this just to cover. I know it doesn't make sense really to cover the hole up with this thing, but I mean it's better than nothing, I guess. At least we know what it is. We know we can get it off. I'll leave it right like that. And we'll probably still flush it with diesel, but it'd be nice to pull the pan, but I don't think that's going to happen. I wonder if I can get this dipstick out of here. When I do it, I see rust moving, so I think that's what's happened. Man, I mean, it'll be nice to get this thing running, and I think we'll be able to get it to run, even if it's just running on WD-40. I think it'll run like that. I don't know if we're going to get it to pump diesel, and even if we get all that stuff done, the problem with these tractors, parts are hard to come by and they're expensive. So the list of parts on this thing is getting long. Here's a water pump. Now there's a couple different water pumps I've seen, and I have no idea if one of them will fit it. Yeah, I see something moving down there. I'm pretty sure that is our issue. Is it rusted out? And it's probably swollen. Just trying to get that penetrant on the rubber. There we go. We got our dipstick tube out. It's got a big hole in it, like I thought. So we'll need to patch that up. But at least we can check the oil level. Spray this. We could fix that. At least it's not rusty. Yeah, I'm not going to shove it back in there. I don't want to ruin the rubber piece on here. This really needs to be dealt with. We might, if we can get it out, we might can make a new piece to drive down in there. Alright, I'm going to put the drain plug back in.